If you really think through, who am I as a person? What did my grandmother cook?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to take that as a subject matter and I'm going to make that commercially competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And that is who I am as a chef. You have to be original and you have to own it in a way that no one can ever take it away from you. Because like sometimes you think through like, okay, I don't really know if that would really fly. It'll fly, chef.
Yeah.
It'll fly.
Welcome to the Blackberry Podcast, where we share stories, wisdom, and insight from the amazing people that we get to meet and collaborate with at Blackberry Farm. I'm Sarah Chabot, and with me today, as my co-host, is Executive Chef of the Barn, Cassidee Dabney. Hi. And our very special guest is Chef Tyler Florence.
Thank you so much. I am thrilled to be here.
I'm going to just start out with a quick list. More than 15 TV shows, you've cooked all over the world, you've had restaurants in New York and San Francisco and Hawaii and cookbooks. Everyone knows your face, your name, your food. Tell us how Tyler Florence started in food.
I started, washing dishes in the nicest restaurant in my hometown when I was 13 years old. And it was just a really good outlet for me. I just loved to be in the restaurant business. I loved watching the chefs cook. When you have those light bulb moments as a young kid where you taste lobster dipped in hollandaise for the first time, or taste a filet mignon wrapped in bacon, or you taste a shrimp cocktail, these things that just taste incredible. It just set me off on a path where I thought food was going to be the thing for the rest of my life, and it has been. And I was an amazing dishwasher, and then I turned into a busboy, and then a waiter, and then I went to culinary school. I went to Johnson & Wales University in Charleston, South Carolina.
I was about to say all of this was happening in Charleston.
Yeah, well, I grew up in Greenville,
Okay.
South Carolina, in the upstate, and then I was in Charleston for about 5 years. I went to I got a culinary degree. And then I got a business degree in hotel restaurant management. And then I moved to New York City. And I was in New York City for about 15 years, working with some of the best chefs in the city.
Yeah.
And I started with Food Network in 1996. This is my 30th year on television.
30 years.
Yeah.
And then here you are on our humble podcast.
And here we are. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And all roads have brought us here today.
Yeah. How was the transition from Charleston to New York City? Did you feel like a fish out of water?
No, I didn't. New York just spoke to me. And as a young chef who is really excited about just turning the culinary world on its ear, you either go to Paris or you go to New York. And I went to New York. And I just moved there with $2,000 in my pocket. I had no money. I had first month's rent, last month's rent, and about $500 until I had nothing. And I got a stage with Charlie Palmer at Oriel.
Oh.
So I worked at the original Oriel on the Upper East Side. It was one of those situations, and I think these moments are important in your life, that you just have to go do it. There is no plan B.
Mm-hmm.
There is no plan B. There's only plan A. We're going to make it work.
Even if you've only got $2,000 in your pocket.
Even if you got $2,000, because if you don't do it, it's going to affect your life path for the rest of your life. If you know it, you feel like you're magnetically drawn to those decisions, and it's the right decision. It might be a hard decision, and often the hard decisions are the right decision. That is how I really just sort of kind of put myself in the right place at the right time and elevated my career. When I was in Charleston, I was working for a lot of great chefs as well, from Louis Osteen, late great Louis Osteen at Lewis's Charleston Grill, Donald Barrickman at Magnolia. Worked at Magnolia for a long time, and I worked at Anson, which is still another great restaurant in Charleston as well. And then so I worked in New York City for a long time, and then I was the executive chef of a restaurant called Cibo. CIBO. It was on 42nd and 2nd. And we were getting lots of buzz. It was sort of a contemporary Italian restaurant. And we were getting lots of buzz in New York City and lots of press. And I remember Lori Green, remember her name? She was a producer with this brand new cable network called the Food Network. And she walked into the restaurant. To this day, I just walk around and always have business cards in my pocket.
Because you never know who's walking in the door.
You never know who you're going to walk into and talk to. And so I walked out in the dining room and had a big stack of business cards in my pocket and said hi. And she said, "Dinner was delicious. Everybody in the city's talking about you. Would you like to be on television?"
Wow.
So I said yes. And it was the first day of the rest of my life.
And the TV journey has been from everything from like Tyler's Food to now the food truck season is here,
Yeah,
right?
so Food Network has been a really wonderful journey, and it's just like part of my story, right?
Mhm.
Because I'm a classically trained professional restaurant chef,
Right.
and so there was about a decade where I just committed to shooting television full time,
Yeah.
and it was the right move for me at the time, and
Right.
it's not the easiest of the two routes, to be honest with you. Shooting television,
Huh.
those are 12, 15, 18-hour days, and you're on the road constantly. I slept
Mhm.
in a hotel room for 290 nights a year,
Mm.
just not even in my own bed, just shooting television. But it was one of those moments where you got a chance to just sort of elevate yourself and make a decision that if you don't do this, you'll never know what it's like.
Right.
And if it doesn't work out, you can always go back to cook in a restaurant someplace, right? But if you don't take this moment and take you could regret it. And so I just leaned into it and really just kind of fell in love with Food Network. And I've seen a lot of my colleagues, just grow and become really kind of wonderful. The network has never been bigger.
Right.
Now the Great Food Truck Race is our new big hit. It's been on for 19 seasons,
Wow.
and it's the number one show on every summer.
Yeah.
Has been for a decade. And we're having a great
Congratulations.
time. As a matter of fact, we're shooting that right now.
Uh-huh.
I was in Nashville before I drove here,
Uh-huh.
and we kicked off the season with 9 of the best food trucks in America.
It's such an arc for how people are enjoying and exalting food, from fine dining to a food truck. People want something delicious, right?
Food trucks can often be the most avant-garde food that you'll find in
Mhm.
any city because they've got nothing to lose.
Mm.
And they have the willingness and the creativity to take sushi and a burrito and smash them together and make something really kind of innovative and interesting. And there are food trucks that do like tasty menus and that kind of stuff, which is I think funny and fun. But for the most part, you're going to get a very like on-brand experience. It's what they call like QSR plus.
Mm.
So it's a handheld thing, super high touch, high quality, and something that feels fun, but something that feels appropriate for about 15 to $20.
Yeah.
So it's definitely kind of like grab and go food, but at a really, really high level.
Right.
Yeah.
So you spent a decade doing really dedicated to TV and pursuing that, but then you found your way back to the kitchen.
I did. It was 2008, right? And
Uh-huh.
so we had moved. My wife and I had moved to California, where we live now. We live in just across the Golden Gate Bridge in Marin County.
Mhm.
And 2008 happened, and the magical world of being a celebrity chef, where there's endorsement deals and there's public appearances and there's corporate gigs and all that kind of stuff, that dried up overnight.
Mm.
And it was that moment where I said, okay, I think we have to kind of get back into this and create a level of stability for us that it's unshakable, or at least we have multiple streams of revenue. It's not just necessarily television. So we decided to get back into restaurants in a big way, and then we opened up Wayfare Tavern in
Mhm.
San Francisco, now celebrating 16 years.
Wow.
16.
16 fabulous years in the city. And the original location was on Sacramento Street.
Mhm.
And we took over what was the former Rubicon space. If you're familiar with sort of San Francisco
Yeah.
restaurant lore, Rubicon was like wave 2 of modern California cuisine. First wave was like Alice Waters and Jeremiah Tower and
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Stars and Chez Panisse and that kind of stuff. And the second wave was Rubicon.
Yeah.
And so every major chef, Tracy Desjardins and
Uh-huh.
all these really spectacular California chefs came through Rubicon.
Yeah.
And so that restaurant space kind of gave up the ghost in 2004, 2005.
Okay.
And then and it was abandoned for a long time. And then we picked it up in 2009
Oh, wow.
and
Special.
opened in 2010. And, it was just packed from minute one. And we opened up an old, spectacular California tavern. We opened a movie set of an old restaurant that had been there for a very long time, and we served fried chicken.
Yeah.
And it was just so different than anything else that San Francisco had experienced before, and it felt very unique, and it felt very uniquely American, and people just loved it. And we've been packed ever since.
You guys cook fried chicken today.
Yes,
did.
and we ate it over the trash can
Chef, we had a
together.
moment.
We did.
We did. We had a moment. Yeah, we sure did.
We shared trash can chicken.
We trash can chicken.
And it was delicious.
It was so good. Yeah, it's so good. It's such a special recipe and so grateful to be able to share it with everybody here for the weekend. It was like we did a demo this morning
Mhm.
for 150 people. They came at 9:30 in the morning, and we did a demo of fried chicken. And then Chef got a chance to collaborate with your team, and you guys put together some spectacular side dishes. And then Matt and I put the chicken together. It was very good.
What's so special about this chicken?
So I grew up in South Carolina, and my dad's side of the family is from Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
a small little town called Lincolnton, which is just outside of Augusta.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom's side of the family is from High Point, sort of right in the middle of
Oh,
the
yeah.
state, and grew up with deep Southern food culture. You know,
Right.
like grew up with, fried chicken and barbecue, and and not just any kind of barbecue, but very distinctive, like Carolina whole hog, with mustard-based barbecue sauce, and where you buy it by the quart, and you buy the coleslaw and the white bread, and you make a sandwich out of it. Collard greens cooking down a pot with a big smoky ham hock and coconut cake and ambrosia, and just sweet tea and banana pudding, and just really kind of wonderful, like deep Southern food. And that's really like who I am today. I mean, I'm a Southern cook. I'm a really good Southern cook. I love Southern food. And so when we decided to do the restaurant in San Francisco, and I think this is a really good note for all young chefs, is to look back on to what your grandmother made.
Mm-hmm.
And try to make that commercially competitive,
Mm-hmm.
because you're going to have something that's really unique and interesting, and something that defines you specifically as a chef.
Right.
And so I grew up with my grandmother making fried chicken every weekend. I didn't want to knock off my own culture and say, okay, we're doing Southern fried chicken in San Francisco, because sometimes I think those can be that note can miss a little tone.
Yeah.
Sometimes when like a New Orleans restaurant will open up in a different city and it's not quite New Orleans, like it and they know it. So I decided to take a bold step and put a flag in the ground for a new evolutionary branch of fried chicken, and we call it California fried chicken.
Yeah.
And so it has the flavor profile of lemon and garlic and rosemary and sage and thyme. It almost tastes like it's got a roasted chicken flavor profile, but the texture is really great. It's a little sciencey, a little bit of my grandmother, and we sous vide the chicken and then chill it, and that's sort of the first cooking process. And the second cooking process goes from a batter into the flour, and then it gets fried in herb and garlic infused oil. So it's deeply savory. It's deeply savory. And then you hit it with a squeeze of fresh lemon on top of that. I think it's unique. I think there's nothing like that in America. It's a very original fried chicken recipe.
I had not had a fried chicken like that. It was
Yeah?
so good.
Yeah.
Like I ate an embarrassingly large amount of chicken today.
Chef, what's your favorite cut of the chicken?
It's the thigh.
It's the thigh. Go
Yeah.
home. Or the flat, or the wing flat.
Yeah.
I could eat my body weight in chicken wings. I love chicken.
Do you want to have a chicken wing eat off later?
Anytime, any
Over
place,
the
anywhere.
over the
chef.
garbage can.
Let's go
The
over the
garbage
garbage can.
in the
Garbage
back of the
can
kitchen.
chicken eat off.
Well, it's such a very
It's a new show.
It's a kitchen thing to do. Like we don't get a chance to sit down and stop and take a break
Yeah.
most days. So if you do have a moment, you're standing over that garbage can.
Chef, it'll be 36 chicken wings, 7 minutes on the clock.
Holy moly.
Garbage can in front of us,
Just dropping them in.
dropping them in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
You ever watch Hot Ones on YouTube?
Yes. Hilarious.
It's hilarious, but those wings look like they're cold, and they look like they're
Hurty.
dried out, and they look terrible. They don't look.
They don't look good, but
Mm-mm.
the faces and the reaction to the heat
I love that.
is what we're here for.
Yeah, exactly.
As chefs, do you guys go after the hurt at all, or are you like, no, I want my food?
I'm too old
I
to
will-
search the hurt out.
Yeah.
I went to Princess Fried Chicken in Nashville yesterday
Oh.
because it's just one of those places that you just gotta stop.
Got to check
Mhm.
off the
You
list.
got to check it off the list because I've eaten there, I don't know, 10 times. And my wife had never been, to Nashville.
Oh.
So we did the run. We went to Catbird Seat, which is really fun. And went to Biscuit Love, that was great. And then we went to Princess Hot. I like a boss, like a pro. I cleaned 3 wings.
You were like, I'm doing it.
Very good. Yeah,
I have the black pepper. That's kind of my
that's your heat.
that's my heat level.
That's your heat tolerance.
That's my
Yeah.
high bar there. my
Yeah.
heat.
Yeah, me too.
What's your favorite fresh chili?
Can I say it, Jimmy Nardello?
Yeah, Jimmy Nardello. That's
They're
my
just
DJ name, by the way.
sweet,
Jimmy Nardello.
and they
Yeah.
don't have any heat on them.
Yeah,
I
I did DJ'd a couple of parties as Jimmy Nardello.
Did you have a mascot outfit?
I did not have a mascot
Wait.
outfit, but you and I were just quickly talking about mascot outfits
Yeah.
before.
There seemed to be a theme between your mascots, right?
I don't think I've ever
Yeah.
told anybody this ever in my
I-
life.
Okay.
Okay.
Not that I'm living with it in shame. It just never came up in conversation.
Rarely does it
Yeah.
come up. I was Mr. Slice for Papa John's Pizza, and I would often go to the University of Arkansas baseball games and run around the stadium, and then people would try to yank my pepperonis off,
Shut up.
throw baseballs at me. If that
No way. Did the pepperonis come off, or they just tried to?
no,
repel?
they just tried.
Okay, they
They
tried.
certainly tried. And you were also
I was Little Caesar. Yeah,
So
I was
definitely a
Little
pizza
Caesar.
theme here.
Yeah, I had an A-frame hoop toga. And I had, skin tone fuzzy tights, and I had big shoes. I had a huge helmet I could see out of the smiley face.
Yeah.
And then I had big hands. I would go to Little Caesars openings. I would ride in the Christmas parade. But that was technically my first food job. I mean, because I used to do that as a kid, and I learned how to make pizzas at Little Caesars as well.
Yeah. I had to make pizzas and I was a delivery driver.
Okay, sure.
And I don't want to date myself, but it was before the internet. So you had to look at a map
Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh
and
my
then
gosh. How
write
awful
it
was that?
down and then hope that you found where you were going.
Could you imagine being a Domino's delivery driver
No.
like before like TomTom travel maps or whatever that was, right? What anxiety we used to live with that we don't live with anymore.
I don't think we had anxiety about it. It was like, well, I'm either going to find it or I
Getting
don't.
along with cold pizza. I guess I'm
Yeah.
going to eat it.
But what about in the kitchen? How different, is it today than what are you missing? The analog of the kitchen of yesteryear.
The analog thing that I miss, and then I know that we touched on this today with new technology in the kitchen, like sous vide, and then all of the great like combi ovens that we have access to, and vat machines, and all these things that make cooking more consistent and give you that consistency every time. We didn't have those starting out
Mhm.
because we're very similar in age. You had to know how to get to the medium rare on the beef by touching it.
By touching it. And you didn't really have an instant thermometer. You just had to touch
No.
it.
So is there a loss of craft?
I think there's a loss of the finesse of paying attention to
Mm.
what you're doing because you don't have to pay attention. I think like self-driving cars, maybe one day people will completely not be able to deliver a pizza with a map, or know how to pay attention to all the things that are going on around them. A lot of cooks don't even know to pay attention to those things anymore because they don't have to.
I think we have better training tools.
Yeah.
I think, because at the end of the day, the filet is going to hit the plate and the filet is $90.
Mm-hmm.
So it better be right.
It better be
perfect.
right. I mean, the guest expectation, if you're paying $90 for filet mignon and it's cold and it's medium well,
Mhm.
then, well, God, it's $90, right? You can't get it right. So I just think we have better tools to get it right in the first time, in
Yeah.
the first place, which I think is really helpful.
That's
Right.
so
in the kitchen.
helpful.
Yeah, sure.
So you got to marry that sense of craft and with the tools that are at your disposal.
Exactly. And the
Mhm.
new tools, right?
Yeah.
Which I, even like digital scales, I think that's amazing too, right? I mean,
Mhm.
from a portion control standpoint or measuring out recipes,
Mhm.
in grams instead of just sort of winging it, which I think is really critical. So you
Yeah.
get there's a level of perfection. America has never had better food. There's never been better chefs. There's never been better restaurants. And I think a lot of that is training, and a lot of those are tools that kind of comes along with that.
Mhm.
I think make a better product, make a more consistent product for sure.
Yeah. And are more people dining out? Are they looking for that extra special experience?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Without a question. Because everybody that follows anyone on social media,
Mhm.
if you've watched someone butter baste a filet mignon in slow motion,
You want that.
with garlic and fresh thyme, and you see like the bubble brown butter foam over top of filet mignon, like you want that.
Right.
Right. And so those opportunities are everywhere, and every restaurant that really knows how to manage their social media account
Mhm.
creates lust, right?
Right.
Creates those moments where they kind of send it out like it's what I call the impulse gap. Like, we've got it, you want it, how far apart are we?
Right.
And so the goal with all that stuff is create like really delicious food that kind of really brings them in.
We call it getting stuck in a baste hole in the kitchen because the cooks will just start basting. And then the next thing you know, they keep on basting because they're just like,
Oh,
Look at that.
Oh, it's so delicious.
and I'm like, give me the fish.
Give me the fish, chef. Give me the
Give
fish,
it
chef.
up.
Give me the fish.
Well, you know what's so interesting about that too, like what it really, really does, because like sometimes they'll just do it and not really realize what they're doing.
Mhm.
Or why?
Yeah, or why? Because
Yeah.
because there's like two waves of fat, right? So like the first fat, which is usually like a neutral oil,
Mhm.
either olive oil or some sort of other neutral oil, and then so that first press and that first sear is to create the Maillard reaction
Mm.
on the outside and really dehydrate the outside of the crust
Mm.
and create that crispy, crunchy texture. But if you take a look at that crispy surface underneath a
Mhm.
magnifying glass or a microscope, you realize that you've created like a dried out sponge that can absorb another wave of fat that
Yeah.
can soak up more flavor. So you kind of cash out the oil of what you seared it in and kind of start with a dry hot pan,
Uh-huh.
and you add the knob of butter, and then you add those like flavoring elements of those aroma elements of garlic and fresh thyme. You're letting the top micro layer of that protein just absorb that one more delicious, which will be the first thing that you taste,
Uh-huh.
right? Of this really kind of fresh, delicious, perfectly cooked fat. You get the great perfect cooked on the inside of the protein. You get the perfect crust on the outside of the protein. And then on top of that, you get this aroma of just like freshly articulated, crafted, fat that just hits you right in the nose and right on top of the palate. And that's what it does, which is really kind of beautiful if you think about it.
You probably have your pulse on this more from the television perspective. Are there more people cooking at home?
For sure. A lot of people, and if you into social media, if you're into like TikTok, where people are not only cooking, but they're recording and then they're sharing these moments. And it's not really what I would call recipes. I would call it kitchen wisdom. So if I'm cooking at home and I've got this like hack of how I want to make a chopped Italian salad by taking the chickpeas and tossing them, I'm totally making this up, I'm saying it, but tossing herbs and put it in the air fryer, making crispy before I put it in the salad, whatever it is. That's not a recipe per se, but it's like kitchen wisdom. And people are passing those things back and forth, where you see someone, bake feta with cherry tomatoes and turn that into a pasta sauce. And that becomes like the thing that everybody makes for 5 minutes, right? And so I think people are cooking. I think millennials love to cook. I think Gen Z loves to cook. And so I think there's never been a bigger moment, just because of how wonderful and free-flowing information, creative information is out there. So they get really inspired to have a moment where they can really just kind of do something and make something that's really delicious.
I think anytime a person decides to cook at home, I get excited for them because they're going to learn something and experience like even if they're just being influenced by the viral recipe of the moment, it's good for them to be at home because they're probably with someone and they're sharing that with their family. And I think those are good, like, core memories to have.
When you cook, you're not just feeding them, you're creating memories for your children and you're becoming their inner voice. And so when it's their turn to kind of step up, they'll do the same thing for their children. And so I do think it's very important to cook in the house. Your house should smell good.
Your house should smell good, and it should smell like somebody's cooking.
Exactly.
Yeah. As professionals in this industry, how exciting is it when someone cooks for you?
Now, there's a thing where it's like if a chef says they're the best of the best of the best, and then it's kind of underwhelming, I'm like, okay, don't brag so hard. You know what I mean? Maybe I would be so disappointed in the situation, but by and large, I'm really grateful for, to go to someone's house and to have them cook for me. And it's delicious. It's great.
Yeah.
It's got a little lemon juice in it, a little lemon zest, because the salt's nice. Pasta's perfectly cooked. I've got a great glass of wine. I'm hanging with my friends. And we're having a wonderful dinner tonight. The company's amazing. I think it's great. I'm sure you like it too, Chef, right?
I love not cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when Cassidee comes to my house, it's a charcuterie board.
Don't forget, what are those little puffy things that you eat?
Pirate's booty?
Yeah, pirate's booty.
Speaking of puffy things, Chef.
Oh dear.
So I was on the way here from Nashville, driving through, and my wife is, we're checking off some places that we could stop because it's a 4-hour drive, right? She had never been to Buc-ee's before. And not that this episode of Blackberry Farm Podcast is sponsored by Buc-ee's, because it's not. Cassidee said that she would like to have some beaver nuggets. And so, Chef, we opened these right before.
Yeah.
You've had beaver nuggets before? You've had these?
No, I
You
haven't.
ever had a beaver nugget?
Wait
No.
a second.
Oh my God.
Okay.
So these are delicious. Can we all enjoy a beaver nugget at the same time?
Oh, she got two stuck
Oh,
together.
I got a double.
It's a buy one, get one
Lucky.
free.
Ready?
Okay,
Okay.
Okay. I see the appeal. Is it kind of Captain Crunchy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it doesn't hurt the roof of your mouth like a Captain Crunch
exactly.
would.
Oh, good call.
Somebody said it's like a sweet cheesy poof.
A sweet cheesy poof.
Wow.
I mean, this is my thing I recommend to people if they go to Buc-ee's.
Blackberry Farm Podcast brought to you by Buc-ee's Beaver Nuggets.
Great.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's good.
If you've never been to Buc-ee's before, it's a slice of American pie. It's it's wild.
Yeah.
You kind of walk in the door. It's a
Great bathrooms.
Yeah, great bathrooms. Like the chopped barbecue brisket sandwich is good. It's very good and it's fresh. They're making it right in front of you. They've got like smoked brisket and they're hand chopping it and tossing it in sauce and a nice sort of sweet Hawaiian roll. Like what else do you want on a road trip? Yeah.
It's fun watching people walk around and just get so excited
Great
about
people watching.
the dog sweaters. That say
The dog
Buc-ee's.
sweaters. Okay, so one of the things that we did buy at Buc-ee's was a small little like TikTok kit to dress my daughter's cat up in a cowboy hat and sunglasses and a little bandana.
Oh, yeah.
We're very excited about that. So that's another thing you can buy at Buc-ee's. You can get these little like cutesy you know,
Pet outfits.
Yeah.
pet outfits. You get pet outfits for sure.
Talk about a phrase you didn't hear 10 years ago.
Yeah.
TikTok kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have gone all over the board with this conversation. I love it. But tell me, I do want to give a little bit of advice to the young
Youngins out there?
the youngins out there.
Pull your britches up. That's what I'm gonna tell you.
Get really good shoes.
Get really good shoes and pull your britches up, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Work hard.
For sure. I mean, I think the most important thing is to just really commit to it and stop complaining.
Mhm.
You're just doing yourself a disservice.
Mhm.
Like, you have to be available and you have to work hard, and you have to work harder than anybody else. Like, if you want to be a great chef, you have to start off with being the best cook in the kitchen,
Mhm.
and you have to commit to that. And that's not being lazy, that's not complaining. That's not, just kind of like bucking the vibe of the room, right?
Mhm.
And just by not wanting to be there.
Mhm.
And so I think a lot of like young chefs specifically, and I'm not sort of painting a picture with like the millennial group or whatever it is, but I feel like there is just sort of an unplug from a work ethic standpoint that I think they should try that really hard to plug themselves back into
Mhm.
if they really want to climb and do great things. I wanted to work harder than everybody else. I wanted to be the best chef in the house. I wanted to be the best cook in the house. I wanted to have the best station. To be the best station, you had to earn that station. And it was competitive to be on that particular station. And that station is just south of a sous chef.
Mhm.
And when you're the tournade chef, which means you run everyone's station on their days off, and you're just on the cusp, you're biting at the heels of the sous chef.
Mhm.
Like, that's the position you want to be in, like, as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And that just takes like, keep your head down and keep your knife sharp,
Mhm.
and just learn and just follow the recipe and follow directions.
You have to really want it. You have to be passionate about it. You can't be on the fence of if you think that this is the career path for you. You have to absolutely 100% in all of your soul want that.
Mhm.
And then you just have to have patience and, like he said, really work for it and leather up a little bit.
Yeah, leather up. Not everything is out to kill you or hurt you, right? Like,
Mhm.
just because the situation is tough doesn't mean you have to like read the room as if it's a tough situation, because it's just not. It's
Mhm.
just your inability to cope.
Yeah.
You can't cope with a tough situation,
Mhm.
and like I think those are really important. Another thing I think is the tasting menu experience. I love it. I think when we go to those kind of restaurants, and it's like a free form of expression with,
Mhm.
everything is just sort of like koji fermented this and lacto fermented that, and like a small little piece of protein with a couple different vegetables, and it's a bit esoteric.
Mhm.
You don't do your guests any big service to be able to tell the people about what the dishes that they had.
Mm.
Like, if you go to a really fancy restaurant, I challenge you to just, when you walk out, try your hardest to just remember what you had. Not necessarily like the piece of protein per se, but really just remember the whole dish,
Mhm.
right? And you could say it was like a lovely expression of freshness or whatever it was, or the crispy texture on that was kind of cool, but I can't remember the dish, right? Because it was just sort of like jazz,
Mhm.
which is great. I love it, but I don't think that path is for everybody. I really think that you have to define yourself with food that you can explain,
Mhm.
that other people can understand. Like, we do steak. Miller and Lux is
Yeah.
is the 4th best steakhouse in America and number 25 in the world. Like, we do steak really, really well.
Yeah.
Very easy to explain, very easy to understand. There's a point of reference to it where you feel like there's a little bit of nostalgia. Like, you understand the dish,
Mhm.
but when you have it, it's as if you've never had it before, which
Right.
is really like the fried chicken, right? There's like that's everybody likes fried chicken, and I think that's one of the reasons that Wafer Tavern's been relatively successful for a very, very long time. Instead of just saying we're going to stand around with tweezers over 2 pieces of kombu cured fish with a little bit of microgreen and a small bit of dashi, and that's one of your 12 courses tonight, right? Like, really think about like who you are as a person and try to have some like real, authenticity from your perspective. Like, what makes you interesting and original?
Mhm.
And because like a lot of restaurants in San Francisco, there'll be a whole new generation of chefs or generation of restaurants. Has one too many vowels in the name, and it's literally open for a year.
Mhm.
And it's 12 guys standing around with tweezers and earthenware bowls and folding, fish over and putting little microgreens on it. And they're calling it like a thing. And not that it's not good or heartfelt or thought through. It's just not interesting,
Mhm.
to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's not, right? Where I think if you really kind of think through, okay, who am I as a person? What did my grandmother cook?
Mhm.
And I'm going to take that as a subject matter, and I'm going to make that commercially competitive.
Mhm.
And that is who I am as a chef.
Yeah.
That's a lot to embrace, because like sometimes you're thinking through like, okay, I don't really know if that would really fly. It'll fly, chef.
Yeah.
It'll fly. But you have to be original, and you have to own it in a way that no one can ever take it away from you.
Right.
And so I think that's really critical. It's a really good piece of advice for you who's watching this right now to really kind of think, like, look in your heart and think about what you're doing, and try not to do what everybody else is doing on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we leave, we're going to do 5 quick questions.
Let's go.
All right. Favorite martini order?
Vesper.
Blue cheese olives, slightly dirty.
Favorite post-shift meal?
I kind of don't eat after the shift because
Yeah.
it's like late and I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
I might chug a quart of water.
When I'm home, because my wife, Tolan, is a great cook,
Mhm.
and there's usually deli containers of stuff left over from dinner that she cooked the kids. I usually have the kids' leftovers,
Uh-huh.
like, and have like a little trash can meal, just kind of stand there and just wolf it down real fast. So there you go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Are there tunes playing in the kitchen?
Big time. We have one of our favorite dishwashers, Karen. I think her station's just called Nothing But Bangers
Nothing but bangers.
because it
Let's
is
go
just
bangers.
like banger after
Bangers.
banger after, and then everybody's like, yes.
Oh, look, there's another banger.
Oh, how does she do this? There's never a bad song on her
Yeah.
playlist.
That's a great algorithm, just the banger algorithm.
Nothing but
Yeah.
bangers. Try it. Look it up.
I love mid-century American jazz.
Mhm.
I'm a jazz just nut. I program all the music for our restaurants,
Oh.
and so I love putting together playlists.
Huh.
So the new playlist, which is I kind of broke them up into seasons. Season 5 at Miller and Lux. It is a banger. It's like 7 hours of just quintessential mid-century American jazz and mid-century like Motown soul, which is really nice. It's music of the period of like the mid-60s, which is just so fun. It's so fun. Like this one's really, really good.
Okay. What do you do on vacation that you don't do at home?
I'd have to go on a vacation to
Jeez.
tell you about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, what do? I sleep a lot, which is really nice. I'll kind of unplug because sometimes I can go, 2, 3, 4 months without a day off, eat
Mhm.
very, very easily. I
Mhm.
do it all the time. To me, like I think when you get a chance to travel, I think it's just really like a deep reset on just rest, right?
Mhm.
I like to do very little.
I like a breakfast buffet at a bougie hotel.
That's nice, chef.
Yeah,
There you
like
go.
just sit there for a couple of hours and keep going back. If they have multiple rooms for the buffet, that's even better.
Interesting.
Where are you? In Vegas for this?
Like Budapest
Oh,
or in
okay.
Prague or places like that. They have
Okay.
anywhere in Europe, you can
Yeah.
find a bougie. And then there's like, I'm gonna have some pate.
I love a good Japanese breakfast too. I was in
Yes.
Tokyo earlier this year, and that was a really special experience.
Because it's so many little tastes.
Yeah, little bites. Yeah, fish
Yeah.
and rice and that kind of stuff. It's yummy.
If you did not become a chef, what profession would you be in?
I went to school for physical anthropology.
Physical anthropology?
Yeah, like skulls and bones and stuff.
Like what's so physical about that? Like digging it up? Is
Yeah,
that it?
you
Like,
dig it up and
yeah.
then, well, you have a physical thing. You're not just like making up stuff. So
Sure.
you have like a skull and you can see how people traveled across continents and stuff based on the shape of their bones and their skull and their pelvis and stuff.
What would I do if I wasn't I'd a musician, although I can't play anything. I don't know. I've been a one-trick pony my whole life. This is what I've been doing since I was a dishwasher. And it's gotten really good. It's gotten really interesting. I love what I do. I've never loved food more.
Mhm.
I've never loved, my craft more. I've never loved the industry more. I've never loved hospitality more.
Mhm.
I've never loved training like new young cooks that are just sort of sponges for knowledge. I've never loved that more. So I think I'm standing exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Well, thank you for being here and doing exactly what you love. We've so enjoyed having you cook here for the 50th anniversary weekend, a golden weekend. Thank both of you. So I know there's a party to get to and another dinner. So thank you for spending your time.
Thank you.
My pleasure. It was great, Chef. Thank you.
It was fun.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.